After looking through the reviews, due to the fact that the embargo dates have been pretty much lifted, and most of the bigger companies and so to say got an opportunity to play this game, Rage 2, pretty early on as well, and most of them obviously would have finished due to the fact that the story only takes about 12 to sort of say 16 hours maybe between that time to complete. That is concerning, but personally, knowing myself regarding the Rage 2 or Rage anyway, I don't think I will be playing this game for the story. Personally, I will be playing for the combat. Now, as I mentioned, as it says in the title of this video, it has an excellent combat. Absolutely every single reviewer out there has mentioned it has a very, very satisfying, very gruesome combat. And I love it. There's so much into this that it was inspired due to the combats and how it feels. It has a bit of a Doom-esque sort of elements in there, and I love it. That's excellent. But there is also a little bit of a negativity on the side. Feels like a lot of people were mentioning it that Avalanche and so to say, right? There's big problems. There are a few problems I want to say. Now, the world itself is extremely uninspired and simply redundant due to the fact there's so many of those missions elements that are extremely repetitive. Now, as well, the combat on the vehicles, the driving itself. A lot of people said this just does not feel good. Even perhaps when you do over-upgrade your weaponry and your vehicles and whatnot, whatever, right? Yeah. You still need to be getting to the fact that it just feels like shit to drive, and the auto aim lock-on system when you try to do target on your vehicles and when you try to destroy those convoys and everything, it's irritating, people say anyway. Personally for me, as I was looking through it, I can't exactly say much about it. I have not played yet the game yet, but I will be getting it anyway tomorrow. And I cannot wait to experience it for myself and see if it does live up to the expectations. Well, I put that in quotes, expectations, because like, surprise, surprise, even Layman Gaming has mentioned like, this is weirdly enough, Rage 2 did not really get that much marketing.
Very excited about it, but despite this, there actually hasn't been much hype train for this game. It seems like it's actually coming out tomorrow, but nobody really knows that it's coming out tomorrow. At least not many people. We certainly do because, we're looking forward to it.
I was like, Raph, it's out today. He's like, no, it's not. It's out tomorrow. I'm like, oh. Like, I actually didn't remember, to be honest. I knew it was circa around this time, but I think a lot of people are going to wake up and be like, oh yeah, that game's out today. It's going to hurt sales big time.
Now, that's just, I don't know if this was a purposeful thing to do. Perhaps maybe it wasn't. But, the only thing marketing is at this moment I got, it was because of the recent tweet came from Rage 2 on the Twitter regarding who are you anyway? Remember, there's a tweet everybody already talked about. I'm not gonna bother getting into it. It's just that, whatever, Okay, maybe that was the only thing that was like recently that was a little bit controversial on the Rage 2 part. But that's not really a big deal, that's not really marketing. It's weird because usually these big games, especially from Bethesda and so many other companies, obviously the developers, they would have been marketing their games into the highest degree as possible. They want to make sure that they show it off, make sure there is a bunch of those titles and reveals and advertisings everywhere. And so just to say this game's coming out, this game's coming out. But Rage 2, not many people will even know that the game is coming out very soon. And now the embargoes are out, so obviously a lot more people know that it is coming out. Mind you, let's get back into the track of the commentary of the reviews that people were talking about. A lot of people are actually giving it like maybe a like a 7 or even an 8 out of 10. IGN, I don't particularly trust them after their debacle from the Days Gone review as well as the Anthem. You can't trust them. Fuck them anyway at this point. But I should say that depends on the reviewer from the IGN. Some of those IGN reviewers are fantastic. Anyway, okay. Now, there's also some other people, like our bigger people, that got an opportunity to play Rage 2 and review it as well. And like G-Man Lives, like I trust him as well, like the way he gets into the facts as well. I do really appreciate his standpoint on this game. And ACG as well, of course. Everyone, well, those people anyway, they have even mentioned that, okay, this is a buy, get into it and you'll have a good time playing it. There are some interesting elements in this game, I cannot deny the fact. They also mentioned there's an upgrading system that's a little bit confusing, but I'm like they said, like you will get around it, and you will find out more things about it that is just so refined, and that's great. I love that. The gameplay is the most important element of the factor that you need to be considering in any of the sort of video games, if you ask me anyway, personally. Gameplay, story, everything is absolutely necessary on that part. Even though the story here, it's you know, you kind of want to put that in the back pedal, so to say, and it's just like, okay, fuck it, you know, get the story out the way. That's it. It's good enough. Leave it. Everyone mentioned as well that if you want to 100% complete the game, it will take you about 40 to 50 hours, and that's holy shit. With the repetitive missions, side missions, and the events that you have to do for the 100% completion, it can be aggravating. But as well, a lot of people were mentioning it because the gameplay and the combat is so good that you would not really feel that it's super repetitive. Now, I can't judge that due to the fact that, again, I did not play it. But, you know, I'm gonna take their word for it, and I do think particularly, perhaps, that there is some kind of elements in here that I think I will definitely enjoy this game, personally for me. So yes, as I mentioned in the title of the video, hopefully I'm not gonna get demonetized. Probably will get demonetized. Anyway, I'm gonna have to reword my words anyway. Reword my words. That was great. It was great English. Anyway, yeah, it's just, as I mentioned, excellent combat with a shit world, pretty much. That's, I don't know if I can keep that as a title of this video. But still, I'm definitely looking forward to this. It will be coming out tomorrow. I think I will make a first date of a purchase. And by the way, guys, yes, I will have my review out for this game as well. I cannot tell you as of this moment if it's going to be one of those big reviews that I usually can do, or it's going to be one of those a bit smaller. I will notify you as well, perhaps down in the comments or in the description. Actually, no, I'm going to put everything in the community tab page on my channel. If you want to know more regarding my standpoint on this game, my review more or less, then yeah, community tab page, that's the highest recommendation that I could definitely implore you to check it out if you would like to know more about my viewpoint on this game and what I thought about it as well. Now, obviously, I'm gonna have a very separate review out again, but you know, just a simplistic form, I want to mention it as well. That will be in the community tab page. But anyway, this still looks like an exciting game. I'm still very confused why the hell did it not get much of that marketing, and people tell me, well, you should have been following Bethesda and Rage 2 on social media, then you would have known more about it. What the fuck is wrong with you? That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the advertising outside the places and stuff. You know, when you go to the bus stop, or you can see those stamps, wallpapers and stuff. That stuff I'm talking about. Not many games do get that, I understand completely, but talk about like Metro Exodus, that was everywhere. That game especially, Anthem, was everywhere. Well, obviously this is the reason, because marketing is very, very expensive. Marketing can take 50% of the funds that usually takes the game to create. It takes 50% for you to market this game. Red Dead Redemption 2, well, that's all. Oh, Jesus, Take Two. What do you expect? So it's still, maybe perhaps, like, I understand smaller games don't usually get the marketing, but Rage 2 is not a small game. We're talking about Bethesda here, and Bethesda has been marketing very well for their Fallout 76, even though it turned out complete, you know how it turned out. But then Rage 2 comes out, and I personally think it's already, I'm seeing it as already a better game than Fallout 76 even at this point, and yet it didn't get much marketing. I'm so confused. Why is that? What was the standpoint on that? It's very weird. I don't quite understand the initial thought on this game, in this, you know, point of view. Maybe Bethesda is on purposely doing this. Like, this is why I want to bring it in and talk a little bit more about this. I'm sorry that perhaps maybe I'm diversing from the commentary of the reviews, what people thought about the game. I personally think I already mentioned everything and what people have thought about Rage 2 and what they thought, you know, what if they would recommend it or not. And yeah, a lot of people say, yeah, they would recommend it. Like, it gives like 7, 8 out of 10. Nobody really gives like a 9 or a 10 out of 10. And I mean, it's understandable. By the looks of things, I can already see this is not like a 9 out of 10 game, so to say, right? I probably would give it like a 7 out of 10 from the first glance. I'm talking about, obviously, as a first impression, even though I didn't really get to play it, so I don't want to say it's a first impression. Hell, maybe I will, if you would like me to get my standpoint on this game as quickly as possible, I will make my first impressions. Oh yes, and I have read as well that the first impressions for this game is not very good. But so goes similarly for the Days Gone, even though I liked that game. Even by first impressions I thought it was good. So, you know, I do have different standpoints on the different varieties of games and how they turn out to be. So I think it's still worth of listening to me, perhaps, if you would like to hear me out what I want to mention about my first impressions and then my review. But anyway, links down below and everything will be, and thank you so much for watching, like and subscribe. I think I already dragged this long enough, and my apologies about that as well. And yeah, have an awesome day, like and subscribe as always, and tell me down in the comments what did you think about the Rage 2 so far, okay? Okay, have a good one.
You cashed in on my